Tenses are a very important part of English grammar. They show the time when an action or state happens. Think of tenses as time markers for verbs. Without tenses, it would be very difficult to understand when things occur. Are we talking about yesterday, today, or tomorrow? Tenses help us make this clear. Learning tenses is a key step to speaking and writing English well. They provide context to our sentences. This makes our communication much more effective and understandable. Every sentence with a verb usually has a tense. The importance of tenses cannot be overstated. They are fundamental to constructing meaningful sentences. When you use tenses correctly, your listeners or readers can easily follow your ideas. They will understand the sequence of events you are describing. Imagine reading a story where the tenses are mixed up. It would be very confusing. Correct tense usage helps avoid misunderstandings. It makes your English sound more natural and proficient. This is crucial for both casual conversation and formal writing. Tenses are the backbone of clear narratives and explanations. In English, there are three main tenses. These are the past, the present, and the future. The present tense tells us about things happening now, or things that are generally true. The past tense tells us about things that have already happened. The future tense tells us about things that will happen later. Each of these main tenses helps us to locate an event in time. Understanding these three basic categories is the first step. From there, we can explore more specific details about timing. These main tenses form the foundation for all verb structures. Beyond these three main tenses, we also have aspects. Each tense can be further described by its aspect. The four common aspects are simple, continuous, also called progressive, perfect, and perfect continuous. These aspects give more information about the action or state. For example, they can tell us if an action is completed, ongoing, or has a connection to another time. Combining the main tenses with these aspects allows for precise expression. This guide will help you understand each of these combinations clearly. The simple present tense is used for several situations. We use it to talk about habits or routines. These are actions that we do regularly. For example, I drink coffee every morning. We also use the simple present for general facts or truths. These are things that are always true, like the sun rises in the east. It is also used for scheduled events in the near future, such as the train leaves at 9 a.m. This tense describes states, feelings, and opinions too. It is a very common and useful tense in daily English conversation. To form the simple present, we usually use the base form of the verb. For example, with I, you, we, and they, we use go, eat, or play. However, for he, she, and it, third person singular, we add s or es to the verb. So it becomes he goes, she eats, or it plays. For example, we play tennis on Saturdays. Another example is she works in a bank. Water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. Understanding this simple rule for the third person is important for accuracy. The present continuous tense is different from the simple present. We use the present continuous for actions happening right now at this very moment. For example, I am talking on the phone. It can also describe actions that are temporary. These actions are happening around the present time, but not necessarily at the exact moment of speaking. For instance, she is studying for her exams this week. This tense often emphasizes that an action is in progress and not completed. It can also be used for future plans, especially when they're already arranged. To form the present continuous tense, we use the present tense of the verb to be, am, is, are. Then we add the ing form of the main verb. So, the structure is am slash is slash are plus verbing. Examples include, you are learning English now. He is watching television. They are playing in the park. Remember that some verbs, called stative verbs, like know, believe, love, are not usually used in the continuous form. They describe states, not actions. This tense highlights the ongoing nature of an activity. The present perfect tense connects the past with the present. We use it to talk about actions that happened at an unspecified time in the past. The exact time is not important or not known. What matters is the result or relevance now. For example, I have lost my keys. The result is I cannot open the door now. It is also used for experiences in life, such as she has visited Paris 3 times. This tense often suggests that the action has some bearing on the present moment. It is a way to share past events with current significance. To form the present perfect, we use the auxiliary verb have or has. Then we add the past participle of the main verb. The past participle often ends in ed for regular verbs, for example, visited, played. For irregular verbs, the form varies, for example, eaten, seen, gone. The structure is have, has, plus past participle. Examples: they have finished their work, he has seen that movie before. We have lived here for 10 years, meaning we still live here. It is crucial to learn the past participle forms of common irregular verbs. The present perfect continuous tense is used for actions that started in the past. These actions continue into the present moment, or they have very recently stopped and their results are still visible or relevant. This tense often emphasizes the duration of the action. For instance, I have been waiting for you for an hour. I am still waiting, or just stopped and the waiting is important. It highlights how long something has been happening. This tense focuses on the continuous nature of the activity leading up to the present. To form the present perfect continuous, we use have or has followed by been. Then we add the ing form of the main verb. The structure is have, has plus been plus verb ing. For example, she has been working on this report all day. They have been playing tennis since morning. It has been raining for hours. This tense is particularly useful when you want to stress the length of time an action has been in progress. It often answers the question, how long? It shows an ongoing activity that began before now and is still relevant. The simple past tense is used to talk about actions that started and finished in the past. The time of the action is usually specified or understood from the context. For example, I visited my grandparents yesterday. The action of visiting is completed. We also use it for a sequence of actions in the past, telling a story. For instance, he woke up, had breakfast and went to work. This tense is fundamental for narrating past events. It clearly places actions in a time before now. It deals with definite, completed past occurrences. To form the simple past for regular verbs, we usually add ed to the base form of the verb. Examples are walked, played, talked. For irregular verbs, the past form is different and must be learned. Examples include went from go, saw from see, ate from eat. For instance, she watched a film last night. They bought a new car 2 weeks ago. He wrote a letter to his friend. There is no change for the third person singular, unlike the simple present. The form is the same for all subjects. The past continuous tense describes an action that was in progress at a specific point in the past. It tells us what was happening at a particular moment. For example, at 8 p.m. last night I was watching TV. This tense often sets the scene or provides background information for another past action. It is also used for two actions happening at the same time in the past. For instance, while I was cooking, my brother was reading. It emphasizes the duration of an action in the past. To form the past continuous tense, we use the past tense of the verb to be, was, were. Then we add the ing form of the main verb. The structure is was, were plus verbing. Examples: she was studying when the phone rang. They were playing football all afternoon yesterday. He was sleeping at 10 o'clock this morning. This tense is often used with the simple past to show an action that interrupted another ongoing action. For example, I was walking home when I saw an accident. Section 5, the past tense, past perfect and past perfect continuous. The past perfect tense is used to describe an action that happened before another action or specific time in the past. It is sometimes called the past of the past. It helps to clarify the sequence of two past events. For example, when I arrived at the station, the train had already left. The train leaving happened before I arrived. This tense is very useful for making the order of past events clear in a narrative. It shows which action was completed first when discussing multiple past events. To form the past perfect, we use the auxiliary verb had. Then we add the past participle of the main verb. Remember, the past participle for regular verbs often ends in ed, while irregular verbs have unique forms. The structure is had plus past participle. Examples: she had finished her homework before she went to the cinema. They had eaten dinner by the time he came home. He realized he had forgotten his wallet at the restaurant. This tense ensures clarity when recounting events that occurred at different times in the past. The past perfect continuous tense is used to talk about an action that was in progress for a period of time before another event in the past. It emphasizes the duration of the action leading up to a specific past moment. For example, he had been waiting for an hour when his friend finally arrived. This shows he waited for some time, and then his friend came. This tense focuses on the ongoing nature of an activity that occurred before another past action, highlighting its length. To form the past perfect continuous, we use had followed by been. Then we add the ing form of the main verb. The structure is had plus been plus verbing. For example, she had been studying for 3 hours before she took a break. They'd been living in that city for 5 years before they moved. It had been raining all day, so the streets were wet when I went out. This tense is useful for explaining the background or cause of a past situation by detailing a prior ongoing action. Section 6. The future tense. Simple future and future continuous. The simple future tense is used to talk about actions or states that will happen in the future. We often use it for predictions about what we think will occur. For example, it will rain tomorrow. It is also used for spontaneous decisions made at the moment of speaking. For instance, the phone is ringing. I will answer it. Promises, offers, and requests are also commonly expressed using the simple future. For example, I will help you with your homework. This tense points to events yet to come. There are two main ways to form the simple future. One common way is using will followed by the base form of the verb. The structure is will plus base verb. For example, she will travel to Italy next year. We will see you later. Another common way is using be going to followed by the base form of the verb. This form often suggests a plan or intention. The structure is are plus going to plus base verb. For example, he is going to start a new job. They are going to watch a movie tonight. The future continuous tense describes an action that will be in progress at a specific time in the future. It tells us what will be happening at a particular future moment. For example, this time next week I will be relaxing on the beach. This tense can also be used to talk about actions that are planned or expected to happen as part of a normal course of events. For instance, the conference participants will be arriving on Sunday evening. It paints a picture of an ongoing activity in the future. To form the future continuous, we use will be followed by the ing form of the main verb. The structure is will plus be plus verbing. Examples include, at 10 a.m. tomorrow, she will be giving a presentation. They will be traveling to Paris this time next month. Don't call me at 9 p.m. I'll be watching my favorite show. This tense helps to visualize an action unfolding over a period of time in the future rather than just a single point of occurrence. It emphasizes the ongoing nature of a future event. Section 7. The future tense. Future perfect and future perfect continuous. The future perfect tense is used to describe an action that will be completed before a specific time or another action in the future. It looks back from a future point to an earlier completed action. For example, by the time you arrive, I will have finished cooking dinner. This means cooking will be complete before your arrival. We often use it with time expressions like by next year, by then, or by the end of the month. This tense focuses on the completion of an action by a future deadline. To form the future perfect, we use will have followed by the past participle of the main verb. Remember that the past participle for regular verbs typically ends in ed, while irregular verbs have special forms that need to be learned. The structure is will plus have plus past participle. Examples. She will have graduated from university by 2027. They will have built the new bridge by next summer. By 8 o'clock he will have left for work. This tense is useful for planning and setting future goals with specific completion times. The future perfect continuous tense describes an action that will have been in progress for a period of time up to a certain point in the future. It emphasizes the duration of an action leading up to that future moment. For example, by next March, I will have been working at this company for 10 years. This highlights the length of the working period by next March. This tense focuses on how long an activity will have continued by a specified future time. It is often used to show the persistence of an action. To form the future perfect continuous, we use will have been followed by the ing form of the main verb. The structure is will plus have plus been plus verbing. For example, when he turns 30, he will have been playing the piano for 20 years. By the end of their trip, they will have been traveling for 3 months. Next year, we will have been living in this house for a decade. This tense is particularly useful for describing long-term activities and their duration at a future point. Section 8. Key helpers, auxiliary verbs in tense formation. Auxiliary verbs are also known as helping verbs. They are essential for forming many English tenses. The main auxiliary verbs are be, do, and have. Will and shall are also considered modal auxiliary verbs, crucial for future tenses. These verbs work together with main verbs to express specific meanings. They help to show the tense, aspect, mood, or voice of a sentence. Without auxiliary verbs, we could not create the variety of tenses that English uses. They are the building blocks for complex verb structures. The verb be, is, are, was, were, been, being, is a very important auxiliary. It is used to form all continuous tenses. For example, in she is reading helps form the present continuous. In they were sleeping helps form the past continuous. Be is also used to form the passive voice. For instance, the book was written by him. In this case was helped show that the subject of the book receives the action. Understanding be is key to using these structures correctly. The verb have, has, had, having is another crucial auxiliary verb. It is used to form all perfect tenses. For example, in I have finished my work helps form the present perfect tense. In she had already left helps form the past perfect. This auxiliary indicates that an action is completed or has a connection to another point in time. Mastering the use of have as an auxiliary is essential for accurately expressing these nuances of completion and connection in time. It signals a prior action or state. The verb do, does, did also functions as an important auxiliary. It is primarily used to form questions and negatives in the simple present and simple past tenses. For example, do you like coffee? Or she does not work here. In the past, did you see the movie? Or he did not go. Do can also be used for emphasis, as in I do believe you. The modal auxiliary will is consistently used with the base form of a main verb to indicate future time, as in he will arrive soon. These helpers are fundamental for grammatical structure. Section 9, Conclusion: Mastering tenses for clear communication. In this guide, we have explored the main tenses in English. We looked at the past, present, and future. Each of these tenses tells us when an action or state occurs. The present tense deals with now, habits and general truths. The past tense deals with completed actions before now. The future tense deals with actions that are yet to happen. Understanding these basic time frames is the first step. These three categories provide the overall structure for locating events in time, forming the core of verb usage. We also examined the four aspects: simple, continuous, perfect, and perfect continuous. These aspects add more detail to the main tenses. The simple aspect often refers to facts or completed actions. The continuous aspect describes ongoing actions. The perfect aspect indicates an action completed before another time or having present relevance. The perfect continuous aspect emphasizes the duration of an ongoing action up to a certain point. Combining tenses and aspects allows for very precise communication about time and actions. Mastering English tenses takes time and practice. Do not worry if it seems complex at first. The key is to understand the basic meaning and use of each tense. Try to notice how tenses are used when you read or listen to English. Practice using them in your own speaking and writing. Start with the most common tenses like simple present and simple past. Gradually, you can incorporate the more complex ones. Consistent effort will lead to better understanding and usage. Make small notes and review them regularly. Ultimately, understanding and using tenses correctly is vital for effective communication. When you master tenses, you can express your thoughts and ideas clearly and accurately. People will understand your meaning much better. You can tell stories, explain processes, and discuss plans with confidence. Tenses are the tools that help us paint a clear picture of events in time. Continue to study and practice, and you will find that your English becomes more fluent and natural. This skill will benefit you in all areas of communication.